Hello everyone and welcome back to the Grimm Chronicles. My name is Kathy Grimm, the channel is The Grimm Reader, and this was supposed to be done yesterday, but only right before I went to make this video did I realize it was Wednesday already, so I apologize for that. And also I'm trying to remember what number we're at. Taking a peek here. 22. This is episode 22 of the Grimm Chronicles. So, yeah, a bit of a frazzled time here because of being frazzled. And yeah, so let me tell you kind of an update of what's happening with the reading. First things first, I have decided to give up on flights. It just wasn't pulling me in. It wasn't making me want to pick it up. I wasn't really enthralled with some of the stories. The one story that kind of just put me over the edge was the one about the man, doctor, whatever, who seemed to like to take pictures of a certain part of women's bodies. I don't know, just couldn't get into it. And so I thought, what the heck, I'll have to toss it overboard to mix my metaphors here. So no more flights for me. I think I might just leave it in the Airbnb for someone else to try. Which is too bad because I had this idea that I would love it because I loved Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. I really truly love that novel. It's one of my best for that year. And so I'm always sad when I don't like the next one of an author. You know, as a slow reader, I don't often read more than one. I mean, I try to if I like them. And so when I do, I expect to be as equally wowed, and I was not. So we'll have to see how things continue with Olga Tokarczuk. Definitely want to still take a peek at her other works, but we'll see. Moving on to, so let's see, I'm just kind of giving you an update on, I haven't started this, but I will at some point reread Penthesilea by Heinrich von Kleist, but not right now. I am less able to focus than I hoped I would be. But in a way, it kind of makes sense. I'm very busy, I'm very tired, I'm in a strange place, I'm not home. And even though I thought, I mean, it's fine here, but it's still, there's always a level of, for me at least, what's the word? Restlessness is how I would describe it, restlessness. I'm unable to be completely at rest. And that to me is connected, also one way that exhibits itself is my inability to sink into a text, and I'm really noticing that. And so for example, the Schmidt, I'm really committed to reading it, but I can't read it here. It is experimental. Just his style is you know, Finnegan's Wake-esque, not quite as bad, I mean not quite as opaque, but it's going in that direction, and my brain won't do that right now, not right now. And then a nice new commenter and I think subscriber, a German person who has a channel devoted to poetry, very interesting stuff. He told me or reminded me that this is Goethe's tale called Fairy Tale, and it is connected to his novella cycle called Conversations with Immigrants. And Christian pointed out that it really only makes sense to be read with the rest of the book. So that's what I'm going to do. And I don't want to just read this on its own. I want the full experience. It is Goethe, you know, one of the greats, one of my favorites too. What else? Let's talk a little bit about E.T.A.Hoffmann that I'm still enjoying, but I didn't get as far along into it as I would have liked. It's definitely, I don't know if I've read it ever. It's a quintessential romantic novel. It's very weird descriptions of anthropomorphic landscapes, sort of magical landscapes, or like he'll be looking at the tree and there's little lights in the tree and then things turn into snakes and all kinds of stuff happens. It's very sort of psychedelic almost in that sense. And I do wonder about E.T.A.Hoffmann and, you know, did he ever take opium or something? He may have. A lot of them did. But I really am just at the beginning, and I'll give you a better update when I'm further in. It's wacky though. Tell me if you've read The Golden Pot. E.T.A.Hoffmann's main claim to fame for non-German people is the Nutcracker, I think. I mean, and they just know the ballet. not the story itself, which I don't think I've read, but I wouldn't mind reading it. So that's that. And then, so the one I am kind of decided, I think I will have decided, before I tell you about that one, so I've been watching Bibliosophy's channel, new channel to me, and she was talking about her love for Olivia Laing and other people, and I decided, well, now would be the time to try a Laing, and so I downloaded Lonely City, and to be honest, I was underwhelmed. I guess I went in with too high expectations, but I found, it wasn't bad, it was fine, but as you may know, I've mentioned it tons of times before, how I'm extremely picky when it comes to nonfiction. It really has to kind of grab me, or I have to feel like I'm getting something out of it besides just a person's ruminations on the topic. And that's kind of what this felt like to me. Also, she was talking about Hopper, the painter, which is fine, but it's like, yeah, that's nice. It just wasn't that overwhelmed. The writing was fine, but it wasn't anything special as far as this is what I mean with my restlessness. I think under different circumstances, I would have given her more of a benefit, but maybe not. Maybe I'm just picky. Let's face it, I am picky, and when it comes to nonfiction, I'm really picky. And so I'm not going to continue with that, I don't think either. I don't know. I don't know. A lot of things that a lot of people like, I tend to not like for whatever strange reasons. And I just have to honor them. I have my preferences. I have things I like and things I don't like. So that's that. And I spent quite a bit of time looking at my Kindle and seeing if there are things on there that I'm interested in and getting rid of stuff. For some reason, this is how weird I am. The only two things that have survived the last round of nope. So there's the British historian, Dan Jones, this fairly young fellow compared to me, who writes a ton of stuff about all kinds of aspects of British history. He's just written Power and Thrones, A New History of the Middle Ages, which I haven't even looked at yet. I subscribed to his Substack, and I do remember I made some offhand comment that I didn't understand, that when you subscribe to someone's Substack, you pay for each one of them. And I had subscribed to 3, and apparently was paying for 3. And he was just so nice. He said, "Okay, fine." And I have his Substack as if I were paying, but he gave it to me for free, which I thought was very sweet of him. And I didn't mean to come off as, but I just was like shocked that, oh, you have to pay for each one. I thought you pay the fee and then you get them all for free. No, that's not how it works. So I do kind of like him for that. And I don't have, that's another thing. I have a whole bunch of stuff. They're piling up in my email, and I occasionally go back in and try and read some of them. So I have that. And for some reason, the only thing that I haven't gotten rid of is a science fiction novel by Stanislaw Lem. Polish? I think Polish? I want to say Polish, or maybe Russian or Polish. His classic science fiction novel called Solaris turned into a movie by Tarkovsky, Russian filmmaker who I really had a big Tarkovsky phase back in the day, but then wasn't it remade? With George Clooney? Oh, I'm getting it confused. No, I think it was. It's a remake of Solaris, but maybe not with George Clooney. Maybe I'm not getting that right. Anyway, so there's that, which I haven't started either, but I started it enough to be like, oh, this is kind of okay. I'm going to keep this on here. I'm not going to get rid of it. With all the other stuff was like, nope. So those are the 2 things on there. As a history of the Middle Ages and a science fiction novel. And so the one that I do think I want to try and read is the Overyawn son. I started it and I really like it. He's very atmospheric. Like the minute you start reading him, you're in this train in the 50s with this woman and this man and the people. I just think he's a phenomenal writer. And this woman, Ingrid I can never say her name, Barbendererde. And so that's what's interesting about this one is it's an early novel written in the 50s about someone in the 50s. And I think Anniversaries he wrote, I want to say he started writing it in the 60s, maybe towards the end, when it was set, 68. I think he may have started it around then. And then it took him quite a long time to finish, as far as I remember. So I think this is the one I'm going to try and read. This one, and my new audio, which I'll insert a picture over here, is N.K. Jemisin's 5th Season, a fantasy novel that many people have already read, and it got the Hugo Award and all that good stuff. And I don't think it's great, but it's okay, and I'm kind of enjoying it. It's a bit sort of, it's different from, you know, I really like listening to Crossroads. I mean, that was a good listen. And it's quite different from Erikson too, for other reasons. Erikson is just kind of so, there's just so much there, and it's hard to keep up. Stephen Erikson, the ones that I think I've listened to the first 4. But, you know, I thought I would try this one, and it's an interesting sort of dystopian world with these people that apparently have the power to cause severe earthquakes, if I'm getting that right. And so this power needs to be channeled, needs to be kind of disciplined, and also the people who have this power tend to be bad things happen to them by other people, because other people realize that they're making these earthquakes that kill tons of people, and so people run after them and do want to do bad things to them. And so that kind of difficult situation, and many other, and it's one of these sort of episodic, or there's a bunch of different storylines happening, and it goes from this one. It's one of those, when they would show Game of Thrones on the TV, I'm like, meanwhile, this is what happens over here. Meanwhile, this is what happens over here. And it's kind of the same way. Meanwhile this, meanwhile that. And it's not bad. It's not great. Some of the stories, like, I find myself sort of thinking, oh, okay, whatever, and then I get drawn back into some of the other aspects of it, so sort of in and out a little bit. But in general, it's a fine listen, and I think that's about it in terms of my reading. I don't think I've forgotten anything, but in general, my general comments are, I'm a little bit. I need to make my peace with the fact that because I'm so frazzled, and because of this, I kind of underestimate, and I think I always do this in retrospect, how restless I am when I'm over here. I think I always will just have this nice quiet time where I'm on my own, in my own space, no one bothering, no cats, kitty litter. And then I'm like, where are my cats? And I kind of forget about cleaning the kitty litter. Where's my husband? You know, the whole, it's not deep homesickness, but it is sort of, I feel like I'm out of my element. You know, I'm in a new element, and it's not really home. And I guess it just kind of brings home to me how much I am connected to that, and how that does kind of give me some form of inner peace. And so when I don't have it, I could never be a digital nomad, for example. I mean, I guess I would be a different person if I were. I mean, and we are what we are. And I'm also kind of older. I think digital nomads is kind of a young person's thing, or younger person's thing. And so I'm pretty much attached to where everyone is. And that's kind of, I just kind of need to go away from it all to realize that. Not that I didn't know it, but, and so I need to, and I guess I need to accept that it's also going to affect my reading habits, or my reading ability, and just be okay with that. Stop beating myself up about stuff like that. I will stop here. I hope everyone's doing well. Sorry for the disjointedness of this, and also the fact that it's being uploaded on Wednesday when it should have been uploaded yesterday. I mean, I had made a whole blog yesterday, and I think I was under some kind of weird assumption that it was Monday. But the upside of all of that is that I only have 2 more days of teaching, which is nice, because I am ready to be done with it. It's hard. It's okay. It's fine. Talk to you very soon. And thank you all for watching. I love my Zuschauer, my audience is great. And you do get kind of this, perhaps not completely authentic, but it's somewhat sort of, you get this feel of it being a family or a community of some sort. I can see why people then go the next step and do patrons and stuff like that, which I will never do. But it does kind of feel that way because of the back and forth. And of course, there are people out there who watch and don't comment, and that's fine. And you know, but feel free to comment if you ever feel so inclined. Either way, it's fine. Thank you all for watching. I will talk to you very soon. Auf Wiedersehen. Bye-bye.